Hey, Shalom, Akim. Your brother Raza Allah from GMS London Camp. First and foremost, want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Bachakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstones. Blessing to the hopeful and sincere elect. So I want to do a quick response video. Just watching a new series of Bridgerton, a well-renowned novel. It's supposed to be a #1 series right now on the Netflix. In regards to, the history of Israelites ruling during the Middle Ages, or the Dark Ages as they call it, during the time of the Byzantine Empire, and after the Byzantine Empire, going into the Renaissance period around the 15th 16th century, even into the 17th century, man. Where you had this lady by the name of Queen Charlotte Sophia, which is the late wife of King George III, and that's basically what the whole Bridgerton program, which is a #1, as I said, #1 selling novel and program on the Netflix worldwide, history docu-series basically on the life of Queen Charlotte Sophia, man, and her rule over the UK, in the British Empire during the 1700s, which is the 18th century. And as I said, she was the late wife of King George III, where she was an Israelite, showing you that these devils, these so-called white people, know that during the time of the Dark Ages, the Byzantine Empire, and even after the Renaissance, Israelite so-called dark-skinned people, Jakes if you will, were on the throne. They was ruling throughout Europe. And this is the image from the book of Nature Knows No Color Line from J.A. Rogers. It's a famous book that the apostles and elders always used to reference in regards to the dark art, Russian icons, so on and so forth. And on the top of on the face of the cover is a picture of Queen Charlotte Sophia, which you can see she looks like a fair lady with a broad nose and nappy hair, and she looks basically ruddy, which the word ruddy means brownish red. She was basically like a red bone, what we call today in modern day times, the Jakes would call it light skin or red bone, and she looked like a red bone lady. She was ruddy, she was fair skinned basically, and she was actually ruling over the throne until her death in the 1700s, man. A so-called black lady ruling over here in the UK, Great Britain, man. But Esau wants to hide that history. But how comes all of a sudden they put this program out, and it's the #1 program, one of the #1 programs in the UK or in Europe or worldwide? Why? Because it's the truth. Part and parcel is the truth, man. Now they probably put some fictional tales in there. You know how Esau does. He likes to mix the fabric of the truth with lies. You got to take out the bones, so to speak, when you watch these kind of programs. But all in all, it displays that Jake's so-called black people was ruling during the so-called British Empire, man. The main bulk of the British Empire was ruled by Jakes during the Byzantine, when Empire and the Dark Ages, so to speak, man. The Middle Ages. It was Israelites ruling, man. It weren't these damn crackers, man. They wasn't on the thrones, man. This is the part of the lies and the deception of the Decepticons. No, the so-called white people, the biblically known as the Edomites, have displayed upon the earth. Why? Because the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked. So let me just, and this is another page from the same book, Nature Knows No Color Lines, and it says right there, Negroes in coats of arms of noble families. And you can see that they're all so-called black people. This is Central Europe right here. All different, shields of honor, showing Jake's ruling, man. Noble families, man. Meaning regal ruling house of, Jakes that was ruling in Europe. These weren't so-called white people. It wasn't just the Moors that had the empire, man. The Moorish Empire was ruled by Jakes that was following the religion of Islam, but you had Israelites in Christendom, so to speak, Constantine the Great, he was an Israelite, going back to 325 AD, but he believed in sun worship, and that's why he had that Nicene Council, and he mixed and merged, Christianity, pagan Christianity with the scriptures, man, and that's why you have that pagan Christianity religion today. But these are Israelites that was ruling throughout Europe, man, and that goes back 1,000 years, from like 325 AD, when that's when the main history came out about Jake's ruling. But even going back before then, like the apostle was mentioned, Commodus and Nerva and Hadrian. Hadrian's wall was built by Jake, an Israelite over here in the UK. That was one of the greatest walls that was ever built by a Caesar, which was Hadrian, and he built that wall, and it still stands to this day over here in Great Britain, man. He was an Israelite. He wasn't a so-called white man. But this is, as I said, this is the deception of the Decepticons, known as the so-called white man. Throughout history, he's been whitewashing images. But this is from the book Nature Knows No Colour Line. And look how much the book costs. It costs nearly £900, £819 and 47 pence just for a book. I wonder why it costs so much, because Esau's hiding the truth. £800 for a book, man. Imagine that. But Esau's hiding the truth because Jakes was ruling during the Dark Ages, man. So anyway, I just wanted to do a quick, sit down on that, and here's another picture of the stele of Queen Charlotte Sophia. As I said, she was red bone, ruddy, brownish red, so to speak, and you can see it even with the hairstyle and all that. And then you got the whitewashed images, as Esau does, called Renaissance art, because he's the devil that the Bible speaks of. Like here, he's probably whitewashed the image. She was a dark-skinned woman. She wasn't a so-called white woman. This is the actual character playing Queen Charlotte Sophia in the program. And it's a Negro woman with blonde hair, which blonde hair is a curse called leprosy, a sign of a curse called leprosy. But I'm sure that's like a blonde wig on her head, But she was a so-called black woman, man. Well, she wasn't a white woman, man. She wasn't so-called white. She was a dark-skinned woman. Look at her, man. You see the broad nose, the ruddy skin. This is with Jake, man. Jake was ruling during the Dark Ages, not these crackers, man. Not like what they're painting in these whitewashed images that they painted in history, man. Because Esau's the devil, and he doesn't want the truth to come out that we was ruling over these devils. But the truth has come out. But why? Because Yahweh Hashem Yahushai made it come out. Anyway, this is Job 9:24. It says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Yeah, who went around the world whitewashing images? Something called iconoclasm, the defacing of the images, man. So-called white man done that. Why? Because he's the devil, man, and he wants to run from his history, which is basically a sham compared to our history. Israelite history goes way back, goes back to the sons of God, even going back to the time of Noah and his 3 sons, those great men that came out of the line of Noah, man. Ham, Shem, and Japheth. From the line of Shem all the way to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All that history pertains to who? The Israelites, the sons of Jacob, man. Esau's history is that he was dwelling in Mount Petra, what they call Mount Seir, which they call Mount Petra today. The red caves of Edom, Mount Petra, Mount Seir. And other than that, his history is that he was dwelling in the caves in Russia, or the Khazarian Empire. Like Esau's history compared to the Israelite history is very dim. It's very weak, and that's why these devils go around stealing other people's identity to act like they're the greatest people on the face of the earth, when the Lord already distinguished who the greatest people on the earth are. Deuteronomy 7:6 tells you that the Lord chose Israel, man, and we've been set above all these other nations. We're his favorites. We're the chosen. We're his peculiar people, man, which is where peculiar means special, set above the rest. So that's not these Edomites. These so-called white people are the viler than the nation of fools, and they were viler than the earth. Just check out their history. The reputation is the cave monkeys of South Georgia, Russia, man, during the Khazarian Empire, just before it. So these devils, everything's coming to the light, man. And the Lord's revealing these devils for who they truly are, a bunch of thieves and robbers and murderers. So it's Revelations 20:2, which goes back into the time of the 1,000 years of Jake ruling over, the Dark Ages in Europe, the bottomless pit. Verse 1, it says, and I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and the key and the chain in his hand, and he laid hold on the dragon, which is the one that had the angel that had The key to the bottomless pit is Yahweh Shai. And he's the one who bound these devils for 1,000 years. And it says he laid hold on that and the dragon, the old serpent, which is the devil and Satan. Which who's the devil and Satan today? These so-called white people, man. They're the greatest deceivers and adversaries of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai and the children of Israel, which are your Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the Lord's special people. Because during that time we had the divine right of kings, during something called the Dark Ages. That's why we knew that we were supposed to be on the throne, because we had the divine right of kings, a divine order from the heavens of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, of the sons of Jacob, the royal priesthood, the regal nation of the earth. And we're going to be that again, once this devil gets taken out after the nuclear war. We're going to get set back on high, and we're going to take the kingdom from these devils, man. And they're never going to rule in a seat of rulership ever again. You know, we're going to be the gods on the earth like we was made to be, man. Gods amongst men. This is Revelations 20:2, and it says he laid hold on the dragon, the old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, which is Esau Edom today, and bound him 1,000 years. Yes, so these devils was in the caves grunting, you know. They was chased out of society, and it was in the caves of South Georgia, Russia, you know, grunting like on all fours like a madman. If you don't believe me, just read a book by Timothy Husband called The Wild Man. You know, and that was Esau Edom looking like a damn Sasquatch on all fours, grunting, you know. And that history that he, or the book by Arthur Winslow, the 13th Tribe, man, you know, on that history of how these devils was actually living in the caves. It says, and he cast him into the bottomless pit, which is Europe, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more. Yeah, why? Because Esau is the greatest deceiver that on the face of the earth. He was made to deceive. They're a nation of devils, which the word devil means the diablo in the Latin, which means to deceive, to slander. And there's no greater slanderer or deceiver than the nation of Esau Edom, so-called white people, man. It says that he should deceive the nations no more till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. Yeah, and that was fulfilled during the Renaissance period. That's when these devils came out of the caves and they started ruling upon the face of the earth again. After the bubonic and bubonic plague wiped out 2/3 of Israelites that was ruling in Europe. That was Esau's entry back into the rulership seat to usurp authority, you know. And then throughout time, that's what he did. He whitewashed the images. He defaced all the known images back then of Jakes that was ruling, and he put his image up there, his false image up there. He changed history. He whitewashed history, basically. It says, and after that, he must be loosed a little season. So this is the little season that these devils are ruling from the Renaissance to now. Say about, just over 500 years, is that little season. And now his season's coming to an end. So anyway, with that, I want to close out, give all praises and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Just a little footnote on history right there. There's Jakes that was ruling, and we're going to rule once again, man. Once these devils get taken out. And these devils know that history. They know the truth. But, they do something called identity theft, which they're really good at. That's why you got the small hat rats in the land today, man. The 1948ers, man. Fighting over stolen land. But anyway, with that, I want to give you all praises and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Ruach HaKodesh, and Shalom to the hopeful and sincere elect.